What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, Double or Nothing preview and predictions. I am the host of the show, but we decided to go on YouTube this week,
Yes.
Tuck. I am Kyle Gagliardi alongside Jim Tucker, or as I like to call him,
What's going on, Cap?
We're going at it a different way. We usually go at this in the podcast form, but I figured since we got a pay-per-view this Sunday, and it is AEW's pay-per-view, that we would do a YouTube video.
Mixing it up, you know, we have the YouTube channel on the Overtime Sports Network.
Where this was featured a little earlier today. You want to tell them about that a little bit?
Yes, I subscribe to the Pro Wrestling Crate, so every month I get a box of goodies, 2 t-shirts, autographed 8x10, a pin, a DVD, stickers lately. I got a book. I got all kinds of good stuff, $30.
I saw that book. It was Cody's Adventures or something like that.
Yeah, something about
Save
Cody.
it for the kids in a couple of years.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool.
And
so
for $30, you can't really beat it, plus shipping, 2 t-shirts, an autograph 8x10. If you go to the Overtime Sports Network YouTube channel where this video is featured, you'll...
subscribe. Smash, as the YouTubers say,
Yes.
Smash that subscribe button. Give us a like.
Hit the bell for the notifications.
Yeah. That's what they say, right?
Yes, yeah.
Something like that.
Glad you're here.
Yeah, we are glad you're here. We're glad you're tuning in live on Twitter right now. We are also live there at Pod on the Mark, so make sure you're following us there if you are on Twitter. But Tuck, I say we get right into things with the buy-in match. They call this the buy-in because they want people to buy in and buy the pay-per-view.
Yes, the
Makes
buy-in.
sense.
And you're Double or Nothing. It's supposed to be in Las Vegas. The poker feel, the gamble feel. Here's your buy-in. Casinos shut down. Right.
Yes, Double or Nothing. Wasn't that where Moxley debuted as well?
Yeah.
He gave the DDT on top of the poker chips.
Poker chips,
Yeah.
Watch that at your place.
We did. Yeah, I forgot about that. We had a lot of people there,
and
too.
that was kind of our introduction to All Elite Wrestling. We're not very familiar with many of the wrestlers. We knew it was a brand, but at the time, I don't even know that they had a full TV deal announced.
No, I don't think so.
So we were trying to figure out who was in the mix and who these guys were. I still remember SCU coming out and doing the chant. And you're like,
SCU!
That guy's pretty bald, and that Scorpio guy looks like he knows how to wrestle. And so we've come a long way since then, too.
We have.
It's kind of a 1-year refresh on our thoughts on the brand as well.
Yeah, and if you listen to the show, we talk about AEW mainly every week. So we really are full-on marks for AEW now, I think we could say. Not experts.
Right. And I got to go to All Out back in September. We went to the Dynamite show in Chicago that was kind of butt cheeks, but...
Yeah. We also went to Revolution, which was probably my second favorite show I ever attended live.
It was awesome.
It was very awesome. So the buy-in match here, I believe it's only this one. It is Private Party versus the Best Friends. Now, this one apparently is for number 1 contendership here. We know the tag team champions are Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. Mm-hmm. So who do you like in this one? You like in Private Party or the Best Friends? This one seems kind of tough.
It is kind of tough because I really like Private Party, but I also really think AEW is behind the Best Friends.
Yeah.
At the moment, making Trent and Chuck look strong. So I'm going to lean towards the Best Friends.
Safe
but kind of pull for the Private Party. Again,
what's on the line here? I know we have the OTM World Heavyweight Championship over there. That's strictly for WWE.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to have our own little thing here.
We'll have to come up with
a moniker of Mr. AEW.
Yeah. Okay.
You get to rock that on the Twitter account, Mr. AEW of OTM. Okay, we'll play for the moniker.
We'll make like a Twitter cover or something like that.
Oh, okay. You'll make that. I will. I don't have capability. Keep it. So you're going with the Best Friends, but you are rooting for the Private Party.
Yes.
I am going to agree with my co-host over here. I know that's not what everybody might want to hear. And I think the only reason, you kind of alluded to it as well, the Best Friends have been featured a lot on TV lately. And usually if they're featured every single week, that means they're getting a push. I mean, they're winning big matches. We really haven't seen Private Party only on AEW Dark, I believe. So I think the safe bet is going with the Best Friends. But, I mean, I still wouldn't be shocked if Private Party won, would you?
No, I wouldn't. I'd be a little surprised that they decided to start pushing them on the buy-in, and that's kind of where their push goes to develop that story. I think the Best Friends are just more established at this point. But
okay, so that's a clean sweep from OTM on the buy-in. We are going with the Best Friends, which means they would face Hangman and Kenny Omega down the road, which would be probably a very good matchup.
I like Private Party to beat them, though. I like Private Party to beat Omega and Page.
You don't think the Best Friends would go over Page and Omega?
I don't know. This is interesting.
Are you going to stick with the Best Friends?
I am, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's sticking with it for now, so that's a clean sweep there. Next up, this apparently is on the main card, and then again, it could be thrown on the buy-in, who knows, but this match was kind of thrown together. Did you watch Dynamite last night?
I did.
So you saw the Sean Spears news or whatever? The network news or whatever he had? Or did you miss that little...
Yeah, I don't...
It wasn't great.
Okay.
It was a little snippet. It was kind of like CNN, but of Sean Spears. We've talked about this on the show. I think the whole Sean Spears thing is kind of flopped so far in AEW.
Yeah.
There's still time for them to recover from that, but I'll go first on this one. I'm going to go with Sean Spears. I think Dustin Rhodes really doesn't need to be racking up wins. I mean, I believe the guy is 50 years old, so him winning here over Sean Spears just puts Sean more in that hole. If he got that vignette last week, so they obviously are trying to build some character around him. Now that Tully Blanchard, wasn't that his manager?
Mm-hmm.
So he hasn't been featured, so they're probably going a different way with Sean Spears. So I think he needs to get this win over Dustin Rhodes. What do you think?
I think this is an easy one for us to split. So I'll go Dustin here.
Wow. Why?
Not that I'm dying to pick it, but we're on the same page quite often. We had the exact same picks for Money in the Bank.
This card's different, though. We're going to go different. I don't think you need to be different here. I'm just saying. I think you could play it smart.
I don't want to be.
No,
okay.
Play it smart.
All right. Spears it is.
Spears it is just because Dustin's old, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we're on the same page for the first two. I'm telling you, though, we won't be on the same page. And maybe not here because Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, one of my favorite superstars right now in wrestling, what she's doing on AEW Dynamite, I think is fantastic. Facing off against Chris Statlander. They haven't announced this, Tuck, but I would kind of assume this is another number one contendership matchup because they're right up there, right behind Sheeta in the rankings.
Right, yeah. I could see the winner of this one going against Sheeta for a number one contendership as well. So
true.
I did read that Britt Baker might have suffered a knee injury.
Saw that, but I believe she's still cleared for this weekend.
Okay, all right.
Does that affect your pick then, if knowing that she's probably cleared?
Nope.
Who are you rolling with then?
Britt.
Okay.
I'm putting the rocket on her back. Let's go. What about you?
Oh, damn it. So everybody knows, like I stated, I'm a big Britt Baker guy, DMD. She's a role model and all that great stuff. But who I think is going to win the AEW Women's Championship wins, it doesn't make sense for Britt Baker to win. Now, that might spoil it right there if you're watching this. Tuck, let's see if you can pick up on that. But I am still going to pick with my heart. I'm going to go with Britt Baker, DMD, to win this one. I think she is the face of the AEW Women's Division. I was looking over. I thought I saw a comment. But if you're watching on Twitter live right now, shoot us a retweet, give us a like, and make sure you follow us if you want some more content. But yeah, I'm going to go with Britt. This is a homer pick, Tuck. I don't feel great about it, especially if she's injured. And she's not 100%. They make it short.
Uncertain timetable, yeah.
So we're both going with Britt. So the first three picks here are the same. We're not going to go different here, I don't think. You can make this short, but you can make comments if you want. MJF versus Jungle Boy.
Oh, it's okay. I'll just write it for the both of us. It's got to be MJF, and I think this has a potential of being a great match. I think I've enjoyed watching MJF in the ring. I think he's a cornerstone of AEW. I really like him.
He's an actual homegrown talent, too.
And it does nothing for him to take a loss right here when you want your heels to be red hot and draw all the heat. You almost sympathize with losers at times.
True.
It would be hard for us to sympathize with MJF. I wrote MJF for you as well. Thoughts?
Yeah, that's the correct pick. He's, I believe, 9-0 or 10-0 right now in 2020.
Wow.
So you would think maybe he is starting to climb the ranks, too, for an AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Maybe if Moxley retains, that's the next guy in line.
Well, and he even battles through injury. Hangnails are not easy.
I got one the other day. I still worked, but unlike MJF.
Yeah, you with The Last Dance being on, you got to harken back to something reminiscent of the flu game. You wake up, you deal with what you have, and there you go.
I just saw our favorite listener join. Ryan Vogus is now with us live here for our Double or Nothing predictions. Vogus will be with us this Saturday.
Yes.
We will be here having some pizza, having some pops, and having a good time.
I'm looking forward to it. We have a nice setup, big projector screen, loud. It's going to be great. Hopefully, as the sun goes down, the garage door can come up, and it feels like we are at a WrestleMania outdoor venue.
Yeah,
basically.
Maybe. Hopefully, it's not like too rainy. I heard there might be some rain.
That
could put it damper a little bit. Whoa, Tucky with the haircut. Yeah, he cleaned up a little bit. He's got the flow going on up there. Leave a heart in the chat if you're digging Tuck's new hair. It's super dope shirt. Yeah, he pulled that on the Pro Wrestling Crate right now.
Yep, check that out on YouTube.
If anybody on YouTube's watching, we're talking to the people live on Twitter. But the next matchup we're going to talk about here, Tuck, is the Casino Ladder match, a.k.a. the Money in the Bank match of AEW. You get an AEW World Heavyweight Championship shot if you win this. We got Darby Allin, Colt Cabana, Orange Cassidy, freshly squeezed, my guy, Rey Fenix, Scorpio Sky, Kip Sabian, Frankie Kazarian, Luchasaurus, and a mystery competitor that we do not know, and we probably won't know till the day of. That's the first question I want to ask you here, Tuck. Do you have any clue who this mystery person will be, or do you think it's somebody already on the roster?
Oh, it'd be great. It would be great for them to introduce somebody. I'm not picking the mystery guy.
No? Come on, give me a name.
No, I'm not picking the mystery guy to win.
Oh, okay. I was going to say that who could be it.
The mystery guy is...
It's got to be Sonny Kiss, right?
Outside the company. I got nothing.
I got one for you.
All right.
I saw on the Twitter sphere, that's where I get all my news. This man doesn't have the 90-day thing after WWE, so he could jump right into a promotion, and he goes by the name of Drew Gulak. I think Drew Gulak will show up in this ladder match. I don't think he's going to win, but unlike EC3 and I believe a couple of the other guys, I believe they still cannot compete. So I think Drew Gulak will be that mystery guy. I think AEW scoops him up right away because...
Well, you have to.
I mean,
with a talent like that...
You saw what he was doing on TV on SmackDown.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. So bring him over to AEW. I don't think he wins, though. Who do you like in this one? Is there people that you can just cross out from the start?
I think there's a handful of guys. When I look at the list, when we're talking about world title shots,
yeah,
I could see Darby.
100%.
No for Colt. Orange Cassidy. I could actually see them doing that and actually have it being. But I think they want to. I think they would like to springboard the winner of this ladder match into kind of a long-term program, especially with the uncertainty of the coronavirus looming.
True.
I don't think Orange Cassidy is that guy.
Oh, come on!
Rey Fenix would be a great match, but that's not happening. Scorpio.
You really don't think Rey Fenix has a chance?
I think he's got a chance to really compete. I don't think they'll go in that direction.
Okay, all right.
Okay. Kip, I say no. Frankie, I say no. Luchasaurus, I say yes. And that is my pick.
Wow! Luchasaurus is your pick!
Yes.
What's your thoughts behind this?
I think Darby is at a spot where he can challenge for that television title right away, get gold on him, let him learn how to be a champion. Luchasaurus is big, and I have his T-shirt.
Okay, so that's about a little bit of a homer pick there. Right?
Yes.
There's two guys I know won't win.
Okay.
Colt Cabana.
Right.
And Frankie Kazarian. I don't think either of those guys are going to win.
Okay.
I honestly could see everybody else on this list winning. I think you can go in a lot of directions with all of them. Mm-hmm. Kip Sabian, maybe not, but the fact that he has Penelope Ford... And we know, with Money in the Bank, a heel always works best with the briefcase.
Yeah.
So if you had Penelope there and whatnot, it would make sense. I haven't even decided who I was going to pick until I just started looking at this list. I think Darby Allin makes the most sense. I think that is probably the biggest star on this list.
Yeah.
And it really depends who that mystery, opponent is.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Gulak's big enough to win it, but if you get a bigger name, I don't know bigger names that are out there right now. Maybe they're going to surprise us with who this is. Maybe it's Pac. He comes back from overseas.
Yeah.
If it was Pac, I definitely could see him win.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That would be an ideal candidate. But I am going to go with Rey Fenix Jr.
All right.
I think being a part of the Death Triangle has a lot to do with this. You have a guy that, has that heel support. He's one of the best wrestlers in the world. He's kind of been, drifting a little bit away from Pentagon Jr. He's kind of doing his own thing now. I know he's in a little bit of a feud with the best friends and whatnot, but I think if you want a guy that's a veteran, that knows what he's doing, he can have a good match with anyone. He's a heel right now. Why not? But don't sleep on my guy, Orange Cassidy.
I will not.
I'm dead serious. I think Orange Cassidy can win.
I said that.
He would be my second pick. That's who my other. If I wasn't Ray, I was gonna go with Orange Cassidy.
See, I would go.
Yeah, let's see your power ranking.
I would go Luchasaurus, Darby Allin.
Yeah, that's true. Darby Allin.
Orange Cassidy.
It's gonna
Ray.
be Darby.
I've got Ray fourth.
It's got to be Darby if it's not our picks, right?
You'd think. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah.
In the comment section on YouTube, leave a comment below. Who is winning this ladder match? If you're on Twitter Live right now with us, leave us a comment. Who is going to win?
Well, Ryan Voga said Pentagon versus Omega at All In was amazing. Give Pentagon the singles push. I think Phoenix can also have amazing matches with people, but I do agree with you. Pentagon Jr. is really good. I just don't know. He's obviously not in this match, so we're not going to, pick him here. But I do agree he could get a singles push as well in the near future. So I'm going with Ray, and you're going with Luchasaurus.
Let's do it. He's got Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt by his side.
Oh, that's huge.
Hey! Marco Stunt's 5'2". That's not huge at all.
No, I am 7 inches taller than Marco Stunt. Marco would be about right here.
Yes.
There we go. We should get Marco on the show next time.
Friend of the podcast, I saw him live.
That's true. That's how we correlate that. Like, we met Kevin Owens, so he's a friend of the podcast.
Well, and you automatically get that bump, too, because we met Kevin Owens, and he was in the War Games match, so there's that.
Wait, what match?
He was in the War
Games! After that, we got a Stadium Stampede match with Matt Hardy and the Elite taking on the Inner Circle. The Inner Circle won that first stadium-type match that, went around the iconic golf cart hitting Sammy Guevara. What are you thinking here? First off, I think this could be very exciting.
I do. Well, and I do too. Is this going to be live? Is all of this live?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Dark Horse Dave Buzik. Ooh, that could be the mystery guy.
That would be awesome. He wants to get back into it. He's talking about maybe Black Label Pro. I'm gonna go with the Elite, and I think this extends. I still hope they get to the Blood and Guts match.
I do too.
Over time. Mm-hmm. So I think you have to have this back and forth between the two of them to keep it hot.
Yeah.
If the Inner Circle wins, the Inner Circle has been the premier faction that gets a lot of television time because the Elite has a lot of individual pieces that can and do their own thing.
Yeah.
I think this would be great for the Elite to come in, use it to get them closer together and keep that stable in line. I'm not 1,000% convinced in this pick. I just hope this one's really entertaining. And if this is the match, if this match is so awesome and the Inner Circle wins, and you pick the Inner Circle, and this is the one I lose, I'd be okay with it.
I'm sorry, I'm not going to disagree with you here.
Okay.
It's basically for what you were saying. I think if the Elite were to lose here, this is where they break up. This is where everybody goes their official separate ways, and I think it's too soon for that since we don't have the crowds back in attendance watching this. I think they're going to milk that storyline a little bit more with Hangman and Omega, because obviously Hangman's probably going to turn on him, so it wouldn't make much sense for the Elite to lose, in my opinion. And the Inner Circle just won a match similar to this, so I'm also going with the Elite. I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Hardy's the reason they get the win, since Matt Hardy's new to AEW. Make him look strong, and I think this is his first pay-per-view match in AEW, so might as well give him and the Elite the win. So we both are going with the Elite in the Stadium Stampede match.
And to the Matt Hardy effect, on our last episode, you talked about Matt Hardy's ineffectiveness so far. What we deemed, and I agreed with you, that Matt Hardy hasn't been used as effectively, or hasn't struck the audience.
I think that's more what it is.
It hasn't struck us at this superstar level that we were hoping for. Yeah. And the unfair thing is that we're going to compare every WWE guy to Jon Moxley, to Chris Jericho, these WWE transplants that came
Brody
over
Lee
and crushed it.
Yeah.
So this would be an opportunity for them to kind of hit the reset, a quick reset.
Yeah.
And if you listen back to our old episode, Again, our episodes are weekly and rather current, but we do have takes that are kind of evergreen, and that Matt Hardy one certainly plays here. We'll see how it goes.
podonthemark.libsyn.com is where you can check that out, or just go to iTunes and search the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
Yes.
But yeah, we both are going with the Elite here, which leaves us with 3 championship matchups. The first I want to talk about the AEW Women's Championship. We got the champion Nyla Rose taking on Hikaru Shida. At first, Tuck, Vogus is going to comment on the Matt Hardy thing. The broken character doesn't work anymore.
It's literally broken.
It literally is broken. So we're not the only ones out there. So don't crucify us out there. But, Nyla Rose versus Hikaru Shida. At first, I was on the Shida train, Tuck. I was thinking, all right. I mean, really, what has Nyla done other than almost hurt a couple females in the ring?
She's like Nia
She's
Jax.
stiff. She's very stiff, yes. And then I thought, well, Nyla kind of needs another title defense if you want to build her up. She's only had that one against Chris Statlander at Revolution, and honestly, we weren't paying attention to that match. It probably wasn't bad. I don't know.
Couldn't tell you a thing.
You were eating your popcorn probably
we had
around
a day. That was a day, and it was awesome.
It was a great day. I saw somebody tweet it, and they're like, "Man, I just miss attending live wrestling events."
Yeah, especially when we pregame. We had a very firm, solid pregame. Getting into the stadium early, the venue early, getting to walk around and check it out. It was awesome, and we're gonna try to recreate that tomorrow with our tailgate 7:00
Saturday.
Show. Yep.
I wish tomorrow was
6:00 buy-in, 7:00 show. I'll see you at noon.
No, I don't think I'll be there that early. I gotta actually, I'm gonna meet my friend's kid for the first time, little baby. So it's a big moment.
Are they coming?
No, they're not coming. All right, and Vogus said I won't take the women's division seriously in AEW until they get rid of that toy title.
It is a joke. I agree.
It was small in Rio.
Put it on Nyla Rose. Like
you're gonna have to go to size there a little bit.
Yes.
But like I said, I thought Nyla needs another title defense, but then I picked Britt Baker earlier, so it wouldn't make sense for Britt to eventually go up against Nyla Rose. In my opinion, they might go that way, but if we're going off heel versus babyface, then no. So I'm going to go with Hikaru Shida here, based on the fact that she has been the number one contender now for, I believe, 12 straight weeks. Mm-hmm. They have been building her up. I believe she only has one loss in 2020. I think she has potential to be a solid champion. It probably won't be another long reign. It seems like the women's champions aren't having long reigns, but I think we need to jumpstart and get to that Britt Baker title run. So to get there, I believe Shida is the way to go. What do you think here?
I will differ with you on this one. I'll take Nyla. For a lot of the points that you said, if you want to make her an actual champion, let her hold the title. Let her keep the title. I do think that this sets up for Shida to go against Britt Baker in that number one contendership where we have a program. If you're going to keep Nyla off screen, this is a way to do that. So I will take.
How about
Nyla
a triple
Rose.
threat?
Let's do it.
Or fatal 4-way.
Let's go.
Yeah, if Nyla were to win, then that might be the direction they go.
Could be, yeah.
Or they have the number one contenders match. But yeah, we're differing there. I'm going with a new women's champion, Shida. Tucky over here is going with Nyla Rose, which will take us to the final 2 matches we believe in the night. The AEW TNT Championship, Cody Rhodes versus Lance Archer. First off, are we going to get any shenanigans here with Tyson and Jake and Arn? We got to expect something, right?
I think there's going to be extracurriculars. I don't think it affects the outcome. So I think there's going to be some go-around sprinkled in there.
Has to be.
Yeah, but I don't think coaches actually factor into the decision.
Okay. I agree with you there. I don't think it's going to affect the result. It looks like they're building towards Jake versus Arn. Somewhat.
Please don't.
I saw a tweet. I don't know who tweeted. I always forget who tweets this stuff. So sorry if you're the one that tweeted this. But they're like, it's nice to see AEW building towards a Saudi show with Jake the Snake and Arn Anderson. I was like, yeah,
that'd be hard to watch.
That would be very hard to watch. With that being said, though, who do you have walking out the very first AEW TNT champion? And I think this could be the hardest prediction of the night.
I agree with you here because I think there's viable arguments for both sides of this matchup. Lance Archer, can win the title and become the dominant force in AEW, which they're not yearning for. They've got plenty of stars, but Cody winning the title because he can't win the world title also makes sense. Do you want to give Lance a loss like that early? I also think it's not a cheap loss. I'm going with Cody here.
God damn it. You're making this tough around me. I still, honestly, this is another one of those matches where I didn't really fully decide until I got here. So I'm kind of on the same thinking as you here, knowing that Cody cannot win the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. Cody Rhodes is one of the people that founded All Elite Wrestling. Him and his wife are a huge part of this company.
Yep.
Ryan Vogus says Cody doesn't need the title. Yes, that might be true, but I also don't think Lance Archer needs the title quite yet. I think it might be a little too early for him, and going off of your point, I don't think a loss to Cody hurts him. You lose to Cody Rhodes, that's not a bad loss. I couldn't tell you the last time Cody had a big win. He lost to MJF.
He beat the jobber, the one...
He lost to Chris Jericho. Before AEW, he was losing. If you want to make history with your very first AEW TNT champion, you give it to Cody.
And how long... Okay, how long do you go until Cody does eventually become the guy? We talked early on in AEW that Cody could be used to push and push and push. How long does that go until he gets a push of his own?
And this would be the push, I think. This is like your only opportunity for... Because if that thing is true, where they're like, he cannot ever have an AEW World title match, which we both agree he eventually will.
There's going to be a way around
He will find a way around it. He'll earn it back, have a match or something. But, yeah, I think it just makes a lot of sense to have Cody be the very first champion. So, once again, I wouldn't be surprised if Archer won. Honestly, it makes sense. But don't be surprised, too. Archer loses, and he goes after Moxley. Or Brody Lee.
Archer loses, is the mystery person in the ladder match.
Yeah, if it depends on how the card goes, yeah. You'd think you'd be gassed, though, after fighting Cody. But maybe. Still, if there's a will, there's a way. Maybe.
With the ladder match, they're all starting at the same time?
Yeah.
Presumably, yeah.
It's going to be like a Money in the Bank. And it looks like Vogus says MJF, Darby, Cody makes stars without the title. That's what he said.
Well,
it's a fair point, but I just think if we're going off of history... Like, when you go back and you're like, the first ever champion, Lance Archer, or the first ever champion, Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
It just makes more sense for me. And I know, obviously, Vogus, that probably means you think Archer's going to win. And I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, but I want Cody to win. You're rooting for Cody, aren't you?
I am.
But we're not, like, Lance Archer haters.
No, I really like Lance Archer.
The Murder Hawk thing is working. Ladder match is Rumble style. People enter the match. Oh, it is.
Ooh.
I think they did one in the past. Correct me if I'm wrong, Vogus, because that's probably how you know how it works. So if the ladder match, like you said, is Rumble style, that
leans a little more towards Lance.
The Archer thing is possible. So yeah,
pretty cool.
That would be very cool. But yeah, we are both going with Cody, and I think we both are going to agree here at the end, the main event, Jon Moxley.
I've missed that.
What?
I've missed that on AEW.
Justin Roberts?
Yeah, I've missed him.
We haven't seen him in months.
Yeah.
Just hanging out in Chicago, probably. Versus the Exalted One, Brody Lee, who is undefeated since joining AEW a few months ago. I'll make this easy. I think it's Jon Moxley. I don't think Brody Lee is never going to get another opportunity. I think this is just a loss that is going to make him look good. And I know that might not make sense, but I think it's very possible for guys to get over by losing. I think he's going to be able to showcase more than he was able to in the WWE. It's a guy that he has wrestled before in WWE. Put him in that main event right away. Showcase him right now. He's probably going to get the loss here because Jon Moxley deserves a longer reign, especially without the fans there. I think he needs to probably lose that in front of fans. That's just my opinion, but I think Jon Moxley's the easy pick here.
I also went with Moxley on our scorecard here. I put Gian in your box and Moxley in my box. So I think we're on the same page.
Any other reasoning behind it?
No, aside from you, what has Brody done this quick to really earn championship level? In my opinion, I think they're going to ride the Mox train a little bit. because you know you're going to get good matches out of him too.
Yeah, when he faced off against 10 on Wednesday night. Did you see that?
Yeah. 10 got in a little more offense than I thought he would.
I love how they're just totally straight up calling it a cult now, too.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what, this is a cult.
Yes.
And JR is a little disturbed there. So there it is. We went up and down the card. How many matches do we differ on?
1, 2.
2 matches. So for us, it comes down to the casino ladder match. He went with Luchasaurus. I went with Rey Fenix. And the women's championship, I went with Hikaru Shida. And you went with Nyla Rose. Otherwise, we are on the same page. But overall, 1 to 10, how excited are you for Double or Nothing?
10.
10.
It's quality wrestling from a quality promotion in times where we're not getting all of that as often as we'd like.
Yep.
We've seen what WWE can do in lieu of live fans, and I think AEW is ready to throw a counterpunch and show that they can hold their weight as well.
You know where they show that counterpunch to? That Stadium Stampede match.
Yeah.
They get really weird with it.
Well, and we've seen them go through stadiums live, on Dynamite. They've been able to keep up with production. They've been able to get the shots needed to make those things feel like something. I still remember Jericho running through the concourse with his ticket. Someone had to be there on time. Somebody had to get the shot. Mm-hmm. So I have confidence that can go away being really special. We know in a match like a ladder match, when we have spots, when you think of spot fests, a ladder match certainly can become one of those. We know AEW has the ability to make those great matches, so there's a lot to look forward to.
Match of the night?
I like the ladder match is an easy pick.
Yeah.
The Stampede is also an easy pick. If we're going like straight up wrestling, I really look forward to the Cody and Lance match.
That's my pick.
I also think MJF and Jungle Boy is going to be sleepy good.
I don't like MJF's wrestling abilities.
Okay.
It's a take. I might regret that take. I have regretted many takes in the past. I think MJF's great on the mic. I think he's average at wrestling. Okay. I'm not saying he's bad. I'm not saying he's a stinker, but I don't think that's going to be the match of that. I think it's Cody versus Lance Archer. Just with the build and everything around it. It's a very first ever match, so.
And you get good wrestling out of both of them, so it makes sense.
Absolutely. But overall, we are very excited for AEW. Double or Nothing. I almost forgot what the show was called there, Tuck, but I found it.
Well, here we are. It's the days blend together. We're trying to figure it out.
Yeah, that's very true. And Ryan Vogus in the Twitter live, he basically just compared MJF to The Miz, which is true. And The Miz is not the greatest wrestler. He's, like Vogus said, decent to average wrestler. And that's probably AEW's Miz right there. But make sure you follow us on Twitter at Pod on the Mark. And where can they find us if they want to listen to us on the podcast?
If you want to listen to us, go on the onthemarkpod.libsyn.com. That's LIBSYN.com. You can go to Apple iTunes, search On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. You'll find us, the squared circle with the microphone in the middle. That's us. On Twitter, you're in the right spot if you see an NWO logo that's not actually an NWO logo.
For life.
On the Mark.
We're trying to get the hand signals down going. But also make sure you check us out on the Overtime Sports Network. This video is presented by OTSN. And you can also find every single one of our podcasts on their YouTube channel as well. So for Jim Tucker, I am Kyle Gagliardi, and we will see you guys Saturday night.
Thank you.